Thousands of delegates in policymaking, business, technology, and innovation are looking to find the key to global economic prosperity in Riyadh. The 2025 edition of the Saudi Investment Summit, which begins today, seeks to find a path to new frontiers of growth amid emerging global challenges. And here's an excerpt from one of the plenary sessions.
To bring a practical perspective to this conversation, sitting at this table and listening to all my colleagues here, AI is like a constant. It's like commoditized in some markets, but there are some markets like the African market. This is starting, but the rate of adoption is not great. And even the infrastructure to make AI work on the continent is lacking. And so as I sit here and listen to everyone here, I'm asking myself, what catalytic thing, one thing that we can all here do to help improve the AI penetration on the African continent? Because AI is the way to go. It's all about productivity, efficiency. It's about people, their careers, etc. It's about growing, achieving common good, and in fact, prosperity for everyone. AI is key. It's key, the way to go. So I think in our credit rooms, in our boardrooms, as we make decisions about funding, capital allocation in particular, about asset investments, we should please encourage and support the infrastructure development in Africa, because it's so critical. If you look at power, for instance, I talk about this always. Access to electricity is so poor on the continent. Over 600 million people don't have access to electricity. And we're talking of AI, data, etc. You need so much power to fire this. But something can be done and should be done. And AI and the FII is about prosperity. And prosperity is when almost everyone is carried along at the same level, at the same page. So let's see in our respective boardrooms any investment decision we can make, any credit decision we can make. I know my friend does a bit of that, and she does too, to support the infrastructure, AI infrastructure development in Africa.
Could I, if I may just pick up on Tony's point. So just to take it a step further, the African continent has got geothermal in East Africa. It's got sun, it's got wind, it's got copper in the copper belt, it's got manganese, it's got the platinum metals, it's got coal, it's got gas, it's got all the minerals that the world needs for its transition. And so, Jane, how about setting up data centers in East Africa? The engineering is easy. You just dig a hole into the Rift Valley and the power pops out, and the copper is just up the road in the copper belt. However, as Tony says, Africa needs $100 billion per annum of infrastructure, but only raises about half of that. Yeah. And what is needed is a combination of banking, multilateral money, and private credit. For that purpose, to unleash the banking and the private money, we need some of the Basel regulations to be changed. Now, some people have insisted on putting the pen down. We're asking them to pick it up to reduce the risk weights associated with infrastructure projects in Africa. Just some lobbying there, Francine.
Completely echoing Sim's comments about infrastructure, but I want to come back to the AI and digital assets in Africa. You have outstanding AI applications in your bank. Yeah. You have outstanding AI applications in your bank. We have a few. Jane has a few. The talent in Africa is as capable as any talent in the world. You're not going to build the large language models.
It's more productive and it's cheaper as well.
It's sometimes cheaper. But the no, I'm just saying that I think this is the greatest opportunity in Africa in our lifetime for Africa to blossom, and it's because you absolutely need the infrastructure. But the creativity of certainly the people we see and where we operate across the continent, as you know, the capabilities that we see, the entrepreneurial spirit to overcome some of the obstacles, including the infrastructure obstacles, is just outstanding. So I'm
And if I can jump in, and I think this is where Saudi is playing such a constructive role, and we've seen it in recent FIIs as well, that the US and China have been lacking in different ways in supporting the infrastructure. I think the attention, the care that is coming from this part of the world in looking thoughtfully about how do we look at the right structures, what are the different types of infrastructure plays that can be made, look at what Aqua is doing in water in Africa. Like, they're on a mission. They're looking long term, they've got a vision around it, they're driving this forward. I don't want to underplay. We've talked about there's no transition without transmission. Water's important, the food's important. Saudi is playing a really, really important role, and many of the global champions that are emerging out of PIF and building out the ecosystems are also going to be critical partners. And I think we all see that and acknowledge that.
Thank you, Jane. Ron, Tony was talking about the pace of adoption of AI. This was more related to infrastructure, but in general, how are we overestimating or underestimating actually how financial services will change because of AI and disruption?
Yeah, I think this is evolving like many new technologies. All the attention is being paid on the actual hardware itself, and certainly that's where all the investment has gone. But I have to believe that all the value is going to come out of the applications. And I think the challenge for us here, most of us are running very large institutions, is how do we actually capture that value? There's about 150 years of management science that's being thrown out the window. And the challenge for management, particularly for the middle manager here, is quite high. Because I could believe the 100,000 hours, but how do you capture those? What do you do with 100,000 new hours? Do you just reduce your staff? Do you say, no, I actually want my staff to do more? So the real science here, in my mind, is thinking through, for a particular application, is there high, what we call high AI exposure, meaning there's lots that AI can do, some of these data-intensive, large language-intensive kinds of things. And the second thing is, what's the AI-human interface here? And so for things where the interface is low, like reconciliations, we do a lot of those. We do a gazillion of them a day, right? There's a big AI opportunity. There's certain things, though, where there's the AI exposure is high, but also the human intervention is high. So you think about investment research. You think about all the things that when we started our career, whether it was at a consulting firm or an investment bank, all the stuff we did at 4 o'clock in the morning, that probably can be done by somebody else. But then there's the things where you have to make a judgment on this, where actually AI is not going to be helpful. Some of the things you talked about, the creative side, but strategic planning, negotiation, just creativity, how we think about all that. That's what we're asking our middle managers to do now in terms of figuring that out, and how do we actually equip them to do that and empower them to do that.
That's a really good point. Mr. Takashima, how do you prioritize or enable your staff actually to prioritize what they need to do for transformation?
Yes, I think, yes, I agree, AI is a significant, enabler at the same time, disruptor for the existing services of financial institutions. But at the same time, I have to emphasize that it is customers, it is a society, it is a community who choose the services from all the service offering from the financial institutions or big tech or fintech players. That means I think it is coming back to the Sushan's comment. I agree with you. Human touch is very important as far as it is related to the existing customers who likes to continue the banking with some specific institutions, even though the banks are trying to implement new services based on, for example, AI-driven, automated services or otherwise. But some customers don't take it. Particularly, the wealthy individuals or the corporations who have very complicated needs. In those circumstances, I think it is important to develop the AI, the supported human, the touches of approach and the proposal and dealing with the customers. At the same time, of course, we have to also develop automated, AI-driven services. Sometimes, even in Japan, we are developing those automated services, for example, 24 hours, 7 days a week, AI chat type of services in addition to the device, human-based advice, even for the various individuals. I think those type of things, there is still, we could work around to take advantage of the existing human resources.
Thank you. Chairman Mike, how do you see also, again, when we look at new entrants, given all of this, how do you prioritize? Bring it home. Yeah, you can bring it all together in 30 seconds.
Thank you. Very kind of you. But having heard lots of arguments, yes, AI is certainly a transformational innovations which we have to live up with. And we discussed so much about opportunities and some challenges as well. And I think that in my view, the biggest challenge is adaptation. Do we all have adapted every evolving technologies and innovation in the past? But this time around, speed of technological evolutions is unprecedented. Whether capacity for human beings could adapt to that speed of evolution is one challenge. And we know, as the CEOs and the chairman, we have to reskill, we have to retrain, we foster those talents within our organization. Yes, we do. The challenge would be then whether our customers could adapt to that speed of a technology evolution. We have to be responsible to engage our clients, our community where we serve, to be on exactly on this evolutions of a technology. That is what we have to do as a responsible financial institution. Thank you.
I have a comment on the human capital side. I think we are blessed in this country, among many things, of our human capital. We're a very young population, so we're dealing with young customers, and we have also a very young employees. The digital adoption is very high, which really enables the transformation, any technological transformation, to be much easier in our country. And I love it when I speak to young employees in the organization, and they kept asking us, what is the bank strategy on AI? What are we doing? What's next? When are you going to train us on AI? This is really a blessing that we've seen in this country, and I think this will enable us really to leapfrog when it comes to our innovation agenda in the country as well.
So I think I have 8 minutes left, and the FII were quite clever in having this idea of a lock and a key. I don't know if you've noticed, this is actually a key where, the platform. So this is the top of the key, and then it goes down like that. So let's just go around, in clockwise order, in what you are most optimistic about. So the key to unlock success for the next 12 months.
I think I did allude to it. I think we have the human capital power that will enable and make the transformation from an innovation point of view much easier. We have also an excellent ecosystem when it comes to innovation. So today, the public sector and the private sector partnership on innovation, it's at the highest compared to, I would say, other countries. And that really will enable the success in our innovation transformation.
Tony?
For me, it's back to the same chorus. To some, it's about AI adoption. To others, it's about AI accessibility. We should, as a global community, play our own role in helping to create AI access so that all of us grow simultaneously.
Is that happening?
It's not happening. That's what I'm saying. That's accessibility. But for it to happen in some regions, access, infrastructure is so critical. The capital for that infrastructure is not available. We're sitting at this table, we have people who allocate global assets. I'm saying our capital. Let's see how much of that we can concretize or commit to deploying in helping to create the AI infrastructure in Africa that will help us begin to talk about accessibility, then adoption.
Jane, what are you most optimistic about?
So we're at this inflection point that we're talking about that's probably the biggest change in technology in our lifetimes. And at the same time, there's a bit of a feeling that the world, there may be another shoe to drop here from macro or geopolitical. We don't know where it will come. What makes me optimistic is how resilient and adaptable companies have been, consumers have been, humans have been over the last 5 to 6 years. There's been a heck of a lot thrown at everybody. And look at where the world is. So what gives me optimism is that we keep surprising ourselves. Let's keep going.